And he's back.
There's no better people in Britain.
On Christmas Day in 1989, in a small room in Targovište, the Ceausescus were tried before a court convened on the orders of the National Salvation Front, Romania's provisional government. They faced charges including illegal gathering of wealth and genocide. Nicolae Ceausescu repeatedly denied the court's authority to try him and asserted he was still legally the president of Romania. At the end of the quick show trial, the Ceausescus were found guilty and sentenced to death. A soldier standing guard in the proceedings was ordered to take the Ceausescus out back one by one and shoot them, but the Ceausescus demanded to die together. The soldiers agreed to this and began to tie their hands behind their backs, which the Ceausescus protested against, but were powerless to prevent. Before the sentence was carried out, Nicolae Ceausescu sung the Internationale while being led up against the wall. After the shooting, the bodies were covered with canvas. The hasty show trial and the images of the dead Ceausescus were videotaped, and the footage was promptly released in numerous Western countries 2 days after the execution. Later that day, it was shown on Romanian television. The manner in which the trial was conducted was widely criticized inside and outside of Romania. However, Ion Iliescu, Romania's provisional president, said in 2009 that the trial was quite shameful but necessary, in order to end the state of near anarchy that had gripped the country in the 3 days since the Ceausescus had fled Bucharest. Similarly, Victor Stăniloae, who had been the defense minister before going over to the revolution, said in 2009 that the alternative would have been seeing the Ceausescus lynched on the streets of Bucharest. The Ceausescus were the last people to be executed in Romania before the abolition of capital punishment on the 7th of January, 1990. Nicolae and Elena Ceausescu were originally buried in simple graves at the Gheneca Cemetery in Bucharest on opposite sides of the path. Their graves were often decorated with flowers and symbols of communist rule. In April 2007, their son Valentin Ceausescu lost an appeal for an investigation into whether the graves were genuine. Upon his death in 1996, the younger son, Nicu Ceausescu, was buried in the same cemetery nearby his parents. This place is eerily silent, and you can just feel the tension in the air. There's something about this place that just feels wrong, or just feels, you can feel the despair, I guess. This museum, it's comprised of 3 rooms in this outside spot, but this is easily the most powerful museum or powerful place of history I think I've been to. It's eerily quiet, and like I said, you can just feel that tension. You can just feel that sense of betrayal, that sense of remorse. Very powerful place. So this is the end of the line for Nicolae and Elena Ceausescu. This is the Cihanace Cemetery in Romania. This is in Bucharest, and it is the final resting place of the couple that so infamously led Romania during the Soviet Union era and the communist occupation. For some, they were heroes. For some, they were pure evil. Depending on who you listen to, and depending on what side you take, choice is yours. But ultimately, it's been a very odd experience going through the places where the Ceausescus made their speeches, where the Ceausescus held power, where the Ceausescus were executed, and now finally where the Ceausescus are laid to rest. It is a very interesting piece of Romanian history. I'll let you make the choice of what you think of them, but either way, it's been quite the journey. It's quite the interesting trail of the Ceausescus that have followed. And it all ends here. A bit of dog communism. Good boy.